I saw something one time where Warren Buffett said whenever he looks at a company, he takes out depreciation. And so when he's factoring in what it really is, he's not using depreciation because the way he looks at it is if there's depreciation, there's likely equipment that needs to be continually replaced. And so if you don't add back depreciation, then you're sort of factoring in the capex right away. And he said even sometimes when he's looking at it, not even including that, there are times where you're getting in kind of where that business is selling, and a lot of that equipment has been, maybe set aside, and they should have been doing the work to either replace it or recondition it, and they haven't been. And so sometimes even when you take that out, it's not enough. And so I guess, so what I would say is, okay, so you get a lot of buyers, and I don't know about you,
Well,
but
well can we
oh,
talk
go
about
ahead.
Warren Buffett's comment there? Because
Absolutely.
I love it, because half the time I mention depreciation, someone makes that reference to Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett looks at publicly traded companies. He's looking at very big firms. And the way that, say, a trucking company with 1,000 rigs, okay,
Hmm.
well, their accountants, what they're doing is they are using the declining balance depreciation methodology or what have you. But because they have 1,000 rigs, they've got to buy like 200 a year or whatever it is to like keep this fleet renewed. And so the accountant's way of calculating depreciation on these big publicly traded companies actually comes up with a number that approximates the true capex. And this is how the accountants came up with it. The problem is when you bring yourself into the world of small business, when President Trump was elected the first time, he brought about those tax changes, which included the bonus and rapid depreciation that small businesses could do. And so, as soon as you're now buying equipment and depreciating the entire thing in 1 year, that you realize that the depreciation line item on the P&L actually is meaningless. It doesn't relate in any way to the lifespan of that truck. It's now just an accounting trick. And so this is why, Warren Buffett's comment doesn't apply in the world of small business, because small business owners are going to often do whatever they feel is the most tax advantageous thing in the moment. That might
Yeah.
mean that they're going to bonus depreciate everything all at once, so they save taxes in that year. And so then you get a big depreciation 1 year, the next year you get none. And it's like, well, which number do I use? And that's why I think that we need to come up with these reasonable capex budgets that are based upon a logical understanding of what's going on in the business. And your point about the deferred maintenance is the way I refer to it. So somebody realizes, hey, I'm going to sell my business in 5 years. I'm not going to buy anything new. I'm going to let everything run down. Well, a lot of the time, people will make an offer on a business based on financial stuff before they get into due diligence, where they would learn that some of that equipment has been run down. And so this is an important part of the due diligence process, is physical due diligence. And it's something that people forget. And I've seen a lot of buyers will negotiate for a business, then they'll engage a Q of E firm. The Q of E firm is going to get knee deep in receipts and paperwork and bank statements and everything like that. And people will close on a deal without ever having had a mechanic or a technician go out and see the field equipment and give some kind of report as to the lifespan expectancy or what repairs may be needed or the state of the transmission on, the big rig or whatever it is. And that kind of stuff is critical. I always liken it to the roof on a house. I don't know if I pronounced that properly. The roof on a house, like how do you say that? Anyway, so I asked an appraiser once, is it going to add to the value of my house if I install new shingles? And he said, not really, but if it leaks, it'll certainly affect the value of the house. And that's the way I liken it to business owners. I'm like, if you don't keep up the fleet of capital equipment in your business to some kind of good standard that is going to be durable, then people are going to want to then discount the price of the business when they realize they got to fork out another couple $100,000 to replace some things right away. And so the flip side, when I get business owners who say, I just bought these 3 new things, I want to sell my business for more. Well, you can try. It's going to be difficult. I always point out to people that what is being purchased is a cash flow. And at the end of the day, people expect that they're going to get everything they need to make the cash flow flow.